Your car is burning $800 a year in fuel it doesn't need, and I've got 20 years of shop logs to prove it. Last month, a driver paid me $400 to diagnose why her gas mileage tanked. The fix? A habit she could have changed in 5 seconds. After 2 decades watching dealerships profit from mistakes nobody corrects, I'm done staying quiet. I'm exposing 15 fuel-killing habits your owner's manual forgot to mention, because the more you waste, the more they make. Stick around. Habit number 9 costs nothing, and it's why an old mechanic I trained under drove the same truck for 31 years. Let's kick things off. 17. The aerodynamic parachute you're dragging around. See that roof rack on top of your car? The one you bought 5 years ago? Yeah, that one. It's still up there, whistling in the wind every time you hit the highway, and it's costing you an absolute fortune. Your car was designed to slice through air like a knife through butter. Then you went and bolted a metal parachute to the roof. Congratulations. You just destroyed what's called laminar flow, the smooth air that's supposed to glide over your vehicle. Now you've got turbulent air grabbing your car and pulling it backward with every mile. Your engine's burning extra fuel just to fight the wind resistance you created. It's like trying to run a marathon with someone holding onto your shirt from behind. If you are not using it today, take it off. Most modern racks have quick release latches. 5 minutes of your time. That's it. And you'll put money directly back into your wallet with every single trip you take. But what about all the weight you're hauling around inside? You're unknowingly driving with invisible passengers, and it's absolutely killing your city mileage. 16. The invisible passengers in your trunk. Pop your trunk right now. Seriously, go look. What's in there? Old potting soil from last spring? Golf clubs you haven't used since last summer? A heavy toolbox? You're violating the laws of physics with every acceleration. Listen, I had a real estate agent come into my shop with a Lincoln Navigator. She was complaining about terrible city mileage. She was getting 9 miles per gallon. 9 miles per gallon in a modern SUV. I opened up the back and it was absolutely packed floor to ceiling. Open house signs, wooden stakes, boxes, etc. I weighed it all out of pure curiosity. It was nearly 350 pounds of junk. Ma'am, you're driving around with 2 invisible linebackers in your back seat every single day, I told her. Her face went pale. This is it. Clean out your car. If you don't need it for this specific trip, leave it in the garage. For this agent who was driving 15,000 miles a year, shedding that weight saved her roughly $150 a year in fuel alone. That's money she was literally throwing away because she was too lazy to clean out her trunk. The next habit is a warm-up ritual that's a relic of the 1970s, and doing it today is just burning money for absolutely no reason. Quick reminder, if you're getting value from this video, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button right now. It helps the channel grow and ensures you never miss money-saving tips like these. 15. The warm-up ritual that's burning your money. It's a cold morning. You go outside, start the car, and then head back inside to finish your coffee for 10, 15, maybe 20 minutes. You think you're being kind to your engine. You think you're protecting it from wear. You're actually getting 0 miles per gallon for no reason whatsoever. I have a neighbor, nice guy, but stubborn, who has a remote starter installed in his pickup truck. Every single morning, winter or summer, rain or shine, he starts that truck 20 minutes before he leaves for work. Then he constantly complains about gas prices at the grocery store, at the hardware store, anywhere he sees me. I finally did the math for him one day. You're idling for 100 minutes a week, I said. That's nearly 7 hours of idling every single month. You're burning an entire tank of gas per month just sitting in your driveway going absolutely nowhere. He looked at me like I'd slapped him. Here's what to do. Start the car. Wait 30 seconds for the oil to circulate through the engine. Then drive gently until the temperature gauge starts to move. That's it. That's the entire process. You'll warm the engine up faster, protect it better, and save gallons upon gallons of fuel. The next is how the liquid inside your engine might be fighting you with every single revolution. If you chose the wrong bottle at the auto parts store, you just created internal friction that your engine has to fight against constantly. 14. The wrong oil that's choking your engine. You went to the quick lube place, or maybe you did the oil change yourself. Your owner's manual clearly called for 0W20, but they only had 10W30 in stock. Or maybe you thought to yourself, thicker oil is better for protection, right? More cushion for the engine? Wrong. You just increased the parasitic drag on every single moving part inside your engine. Always use exactly what the oil cap says. Do not second guess the engineers who spent years designing your engine. They know better than the guy behind the counter at the quick lube place. If your cap says 0W20, use 0W20, period. And here's a bonus tip. Synthetic oil flows significantly better at cold temperatures, which further reduces drag during startup when most engine wear occurs. The next one is even crazier. You might literally be dragging your tires sideways down the highway without even knowing it. 13. The alignment problem. You're ignoring. You hit a pothole last month. Maybe it was a nasty one, maybe not. Now the car pulls slightly to the right when you're driving, but you ignore it. You just hold the steering wheel a little to the left to compensate. Problem solved, right? Dead wrong. You're burning rubber and gasoline simultaneously. Think about it this way. Instead of rolling smoothly like a wheel should, your tires are partially sliding. Your engine has to burn extra fuel just to push the tires against this constant friction. It's exactly like driving with your parking brake slightly engaged. You're fighting yourself the entire time. Get an alignment check. Most shops will check it for free as a courtesy. If it's out of spec, pay the $100 to fix it. That $100 investment will pay for itself in fuel savings and tire life within just a few months. Your alignment is straight now, but there's a hidden brake problem that feels eerily similar to a bad alignment. 12. The stuck caliper that's secretly towing a boat. A customer came into my shop with a Honda Accord. Middle-aged guy, maintained his car reasonably well. It feels sluggish, he said, like I'm towing a boat behind me, but there's nothing there. I took it for a test drive. He was right. It felt like there was significant drag. I grabbed my infrared thermometer and walked around the car after the drive. 3 wheels were reading around 150 degrees Fahrenheit, perfectly normal. The rear right wheel, 450 degrees Fahrenheit, hot enough to burn your hand instantly. This creates immense friction and heat, hence the 450 degrees Fahrenheit reading. The engine has to fight this resistance constantly, burning extra fuel with every single mile. This is literally one of the single most destructive mechanical failures for fuel economy that you can have. After any moderately long drive, safely put your hand near each wheel, not touching, just near. If one is radiating massive heat compared to the others, you have a stuck caliper. Get to a shop immediately. A simple $15 slide pin kit saved this customer from a $400 full caliper replacement down the road and immediately restored his 30 miles per gallon highway rating. That's the power of catching problems early. Brace up for the next one because it affects almost everyone. 11. The air filter that's suffocating your engine. Your engine is fundamentally an air pump. It sucks in air, mixes it with fuel, and creates explosions. If you block the inlet, the pump has to work exponentially harder to breathe. While Oak Ridge National Laboratory suggests the direct MPG effect is relatively minimal on modern cars with sophisticated engine management, they openly admit that acceleration performance drops by about 10%. That loss of performance forces the driver to drive more aggressively, which indirectly destroys fuel economy by 10% to 15%. Check your air filter at every single oil change. Pull it out and hold it up to the sun or a bright light. If you can't see light passing through, change it immediately. It's a harmless $15 part that takes 3 minutes to replace. The air is getting in now. But what if your engine temperature sensor is lying to the computer? If this $20 valve sticks open, your car might never reach proper operating temperature, and you'll lose massive fuel economy without ever knowing why. 10. The thermostat that's deceiving your car's brain. Your temperature gauge takes forever to reach the middle position, or maybe it stays slightly toward the C for cold side, especially when you're cruising on the highway. You think to yourself, Running cool is good, right? Cool engine, no overheating problems. Wrong. Running cool is expensive. Here's the problem. Modern engines rely on precise temperature control for fuel economy. When the engine is cold, the computer runs in open-loop mode, using a rich fuel mixture because it can't trust the oxygen sensors yet. Once the engine reaches operating temperature, it switches to closed-loop mode, where it uses real-time sensor data to run the leanest, most efficient fuel mixture possible. A thermostat stuck open can degrade fuel economy by 20% to 25% because the engine never fully enters its efficient closed-loop fuel control map. The computer thinks it's perpetually warming up, so it keeps dumping extra fuel. If your heater feels weak in winter or your temperature gauge reads consistently low, replace the thermostat immediately. It's a cheap part, $20 to $40, that literally dictates the entire fueling strategy of your car. Your coolant temperature is perfect now, but your spark plugs are aging. The gap is widening. The explosion inside your cylinders is getting smaller and weaker, and you have no idea it's happening. 9. The spark plug gap that's stealing your power. My car runs fine. That's what everyone says. And sure, your car starts. It drives. It doesn't shake violently, but is it burning fuel efficiently? If it's not, you need to hear this. Every single time a spark plug fires, which is thousands of times per minute, a microscopic molecule of metal vaporizes off the electrodes. Over tens of thousands of miles, the gap between the electrodes grows wider and wider. A wide gap creates a weak spark. A weak spark results in incomplete combustion. According to NGK, one of the largest spark plug manufacturers in the world, a worn spark plug can reduce fuel efficiency by up to 30% due to misfires and incomplete combustion, even if the driver doesn't feel a distinct shake or rough idle. Change your plugs at the factory recommended interval. Usually that's 100,000 miles for long-life iridium plugs, or 30,000 miles for traditional copper plugs. Don't wait for a misfire or check engine light. 4 spark plugs cost around $40. The fuel savings will literally pay for them within 2 tanks of gas. But what if your plugs are brand new, yet the car still feels lethargic? If your ignition coils are tired and weak, even a fresh set of plugs won't save you. 8. The weak coils, creating pathetic sparks. You just installed new spark plugs. The gap is perfect, but the car still feels sluggish, especially under acceleration. Have you ever thought that your ignition coils might be dying a slow, quiet death? Dyno testing by performance shops has shown that refreshing old, weak coils with high output new ones can restore 3% to 5% of lost horsepower and efficiency by ensuring a complete, fast burn of the air-fuel mixture. If you have over 150,000 miles on your car and the coils are original, seriously consider replacing them, especially if you have a turbocharged engine where maintaining a strong spark under boost pressure is even more critical. This is a more expensive fix, ranging from $100 to $300 depending on your vehicle. But it's absolutely essential for maintaining high mileage efficiency. The spark is hot and strong now, but the computer is being lied to by its nose, the oxygen sensor that smells the exhaust. 7. The lazy O2 sensor dumping extra fuel. This is hands down the most common cause of unexplained MPG drops in high mileage cars, and it's insidious because it often doesn't trigger a check engine light. A customer came in with a 2012 Honda CR-V. She complained about a 20% drop in fuel economy over the past year. No warning lights, no codes stored. The car ran perfectly smooth. I connected my scan tool and graphed the upstream oxygen sensor data in real time. It was switching between rich and lean very slowly. It was lazy, responding sluggishly to changes in the exhaust composition. I replaced the sensor. The MPG returned to factory specifications within 2 tanks. Here's what happens. Over 100,000 miles, oxygen sensors get coated in carbon deposits, sulfur, and other combustion byproducts. The sensor element becomes contaminated. It still works, technically, but it reacts very slowly to changes in exhaust composition. If you have over 120,000 miles and you've noticed declining fuel economy, replace the upstream oxygen sensor. Do not wait for a check engine light. A new sensor costs around $100. It will save you hundreds of dollars per year in wasted fuel. The O2 sensor watches the output, the exhaust, but the MAF sensor watches the input, the incoming air. If this delicate wire gets dirty, the computer starts making wild guessing games with your fuel mixture. 6. The dirty MAF sensor. Confusing everything. Your car feels hesitant during acceleration. It seems thirsty, constantly needing gas. The mass airflow sensor, the MAF, might be dirty. A customer who loved hiking brought in his Toyota Tacoma. He frequently drove on dusty Forest Service roads to reach trailheads. His fuel economy had mysteriously dropped from 18 miles per gallon to just 14 miles per gallon over a few months. I pulled the MAF sensor from the intake tract. The tiny sensing wires inside were completely coated in fine dust. You could barely see the wire filaments anymore. Ford Motor Company's internal studies have identified contaminated MAF sensors as a primary cause of fuel trim errors that result in 10% to 15% fuel economy loss. The fix? Buy a can of MAF cleaner for about $9. Remove the sensor, spray the sensing element, let it dry. Do not touch the wire with anything. It's extremely delicate. Reinstall. A $9 fix for a 4 miles per gallon improvement. That's the kind of return on investment we're looking for. The sensors are all clean and reporting accurately now, but the physics of your tires could literally be fighting you with every rotation. We talked about alignment, but tire pressure is even more critical and immediate. 5. The underinflated tires bleeding your wallet. Be honest. When was the last time you checked your tire pressure? You only do it when one looks visibly flat, right? By that point, you've already been hemorrhaging money for weeks or months. Tires flex and deform as they roll. This constant flexing generates heat and absorbs energy, a phenomenon called hysteresis. It's wasted energy that has to come from somewhere. Where does it come from? Your fuel tank. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration estimates that Americans collectively waste approximately 2 billion gallons of fuel per year solely due to underinflated tires. That's not a typo. Billion with a B. Buy a quality digital tire pressure gauge for $15. Check your tires monthly, or even better, every 2 weeks. Check them cold, before you've driven anywhere. Keep them inflated to the pressure listed on the sticker inside your driver's door jamb, not the maximum pressure stamped on the tire sidewall. Your tires are properly inflated now, but your fuel tank might be leaking, not liquid fuel, but vapor. If you smell gasoline near your car, you are literally paying for fuel that's vanishing into thin air before you can burn it. 4. The gas cap, evaporating your money. You smell gasoline when you walk past your car in the driveway, or your check engine light comes on with a code for evap system leak. You ignore it because the car runs fine. Your money is evaporating. Literally, if your gas cap seal is cracked and brittle, or if your fuel filler neck has corrosion, or if your cap isn't tightening properly, those gasoline vapors escape into the atmosphere. You're venting money directly into the sky. While this seems minor and gradual, CarMD, which analyzes millions of check engine light repairs, reports that a loose or defective gas cap can allow up to 30 gallons of gasoline to evaporate per year. That's literally 2 full tanks of gas disappearing. Inspect the rubber O-ring seal on your gas cap. Look for cracks, deterioration, or hardening. If it's damaged, spend the $15 for a new OEM gas cap. $15 to save over $100 per year in evaporative losses. We're in the top 3 now, the final bosses of fuel economy. This is where the real engineering happens, where the microscopic details determine whether you're burning fuel efficiently or just creating expensive smoke. 3. The carbon buildup, choking your valves. If you own a modern direct injection car, labeled as GDI, TSI, TFSI, EcoBoost, or similar, with over 60,000 miles, I can almost guarantee your intake valves are covered in carbon deposits that are restricting airflow. A Volkswagen GTI owner came to my shop complaining about rough idle hesitation and a noticeable loss of top-end power. His fuel economy had dropped as well. I inserted a borescope, a tiny camera, through the spark plug holes to look at the intake valves. They were absolutely covered in hard black carbon buildup. In some areas, the deposits were so thick, they were actually interfering with the valve's ability to fully close. We performed what's called a walnut blast cleaning. We remove the intake manifold entirely and use crushed walnut shells propelled by compressed air to blast the carbon deposits off the valves. It's the most effective solution. Chemical cleaners simply can't remove this type of hardened deposit. After the cleaning, this owner gained 4 miles per gallon back immediately. To prevent carbon buildup in the first place, use an intake valve cleaner spray like CRC GDI intake valve cleaner every 10,000 miles. Install a quality PCV catch can to trap oil vapors before they reach the intake. And always use top-tier gasoline, which contains extra detergents. Prevention is infinitely cheaper than the $600 to $800 walnut blasting service. The air path is clear now, but what if the fuel spray itself is completely wrong? If your injectors are dribbling instead of misting, you're wasting massive amounts of fuel. 2. The clogged injectors dribbling instead of spraying. Fuel needs to be atomized into an extremely fine mist to burn efficiently. The smaller the droplets, the better. Chevron's extensive fuel system research shows that deposits on fuel injectors can increase fuel consumption by 5% to 10% and increase emissions significantly. Your car runs rough, uses more gas, and pollutes more, all from dirty injectors. I'll suggest you use a high-quality fuel system cleaner containing PEA, polyethyramine. This is a specific chemistry that actually survives the combustion chamber's extreme heat and chemically cleans the metal surfaces. Brands like Chevron Techron and Gumut Regain contain this chemistry. A bottle costs around $12. It restores the proper spray pattern and efficiency, potentially recovering several miles per gallon. We have now fixed the entire machine. But the single biggest variable in the fuel economy equation is sitting in the driver's seat. The final trick is entirely mental, and it saves more gas than all the others combined. 1. The driving habit that changes everything. You can have a perfectly tuned Ferrari with fresh oil, new spark plugs, and ideal tire pressure, but if you drive it like an absolute maniac, stomping the throttle at every green light, you'll get 8 miles per gallon. The driver mod is the ultimate fuel-saving hack. I had a customer who absolutely swore his Toyota Prius was defective because he was only getting 35 miles per gallon. These are supposed to get 50, he complained. Toyota sold me a lemon. I borrowed his car for a week. I got 52 miles per gallon. What was the difference? He treated the gas pedal like a binary on-off switch. I treated it like a dimmer switch. This is called the egg trick, and it's devastatingly effective. Imagine there's a raw egg taped to the bottom of your gas pedal. Your job is to press the pedal without breaking that egg. You have to be smooth, gentle, and progressive with your throttle inputs. The EPA has done extensive research on this. They estimate that aggressive driving, speeding, rapid acceleration, and hard braking lowers gas mileage by roughly 15% to 30% at highway speeds and by 10% to 40% in stop-and-go traffic. Drive like you have an egg under your foot. Accelerate smoothly. Anticipate red lights and coast to them instead of braking hard at the last second. This driving habit costs exactly $0. Yet it can easily save you 30% of your fuel bill. There you have it. 17 proven, tested ways to stop your car from hemorrhaging fuel. You now have the complete blueprint to maximize every single drop of gasoline you buy. Thanks for watching. If you found these fuel-saving hacks helpful, do me a huge favor and smash that like button and hit subscribe right now so you never miss a tip that saves you real money. On your screen right now, I'm revealing a monthly maintenance ritual that helps preserve your engine and save you even more money. Trust me, you'll be grateful you learned these secrets. Click the video on the left, and I'll see you there.